Hello, 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 everyone. Hope you all are doing well. It has been a crazy psycho week. I don't know about the rest of you, but yeah, holy hell. I think by Thursday, it was finally just, I hit Thursday and it was just boom. I love what I do. I love this job. I love being my own boss. I love being an owner. And it was just, it was 10 o'clock on Thursday. I was like, yep, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. This is where we are right now. So it's been a kind of crazy week. I don't know about the rest of you all, but it's been a little psycho, a bit psycho for me at least. So, yeah, I hope that the rest of you all are doing great, like I said, I hope you're doing well. Having a little bit of issue with my mic there. So hopefully come through okay with you all. But yeah, it's been a little crazy, but we're loving life still. Everything's going well. So I am flying solo today, but it's all good. That doesn't mean that we're not going to be coming with the heat today. I've got some great topics. I'm super excited. I've been itching like crazy to be talking about this. So I wanted to wait until I'd had Vasilios on before I spoke about this topic. So I'm super excited to be talking about this today. So, and with that, we're going to get into it in just a little bit here. But before I jump into the main topic that I'm going to be talking about today, I do want to prep a little bit of a teaser here, a little bit, that next week we're going to have on I'm going to break my desk here first, is that we're going to bring on some really special guests on Friday. So next Friday, we're bringing on some special guests, but I'm going to make you all wait until Monday before I announce them. So Monday, I will drop who is coming in on next Friday. So a week from today, because today is Friday. I know it feels like it's been 2 weeks this week, but it is just Friday somehow still. And Friday, we're bringing on some really special guests. So I'm super stoked to bring them on, but I'm going to wait until Monday to announce it. So you guys are just going to have to wait till Monday, and gals, you're going to have to wait till Monday to announce it. So Monday we'll announce, and then, yeah, today we're going to cover, I'll say 2 topics. They kind of like all merge into a few other topics, but 2 like big topics. Like I said, I wanted to bring on Vasilios first before I jumped into the other one. I had spoken with Dusty Sutherland a few weeks back. It was probably like a month or 2 ago, and he had brought it to my attention. And then we got talking more about this. And then I said, hey, before we get into this, and then once I brought Vasilios on, then Zach Billings posted an incredible article about some issues with Google and user data location going bye-bye. So this just got me into this a whole other thing. And so I'm going to jump into this here, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. But before I jump into that portion of it, I want a big shout out to Andrea Amico. We had him on months ago. He's with Privacy for Cars, a great app that anyone knows. If you plug your phone into your car just becomes a mimic of your phone. So it'd be like if you just said, hey, I'm going to give my phone, I'm here, take my phone. The same thing you do with your car. So his company is phenomenal. He had posted something about GM offers a rebate on Cadillac Lyriq if drivers sign an NDA. And this got me like, I don't know if anybody has had a chance to read this article. I'll post it in the notes in the show notes here, but it's crazy. Like I went through and read this whole thing, and it is insane. Like if you go through and read the rest of this article about what Cadillac is doing, in essence, they're saying that for $5,500, we're just signing away everything. So once again, keep in mind, the minute that you plug in your phone, you give away all your privacy. And so the first to kind of be on this was Cars Direct back on June 30th, said that the GM had this Cadillac Lyriq target private offer to certain customers. And this was first reported. And they stopped short of saying who was eligible or why GM had such a deal going on. Then a Cadillac dealer familiar with the program told the Free Press this week that in exchange for the rebate, the select customers agreed to be part of an early adopter study and give Cadillac access to their driving patterns. Now, this dealer didn't want to be identified as, all of a sudden, cloak and dagger of the voice and whatever. There were about 20 customers that were chosen for the program. So my question to everyone that's watching either in live or that you watch it later on YouTube or in podcast line is, how much are you willing to give up for your privacy? This was for $5,500. And I'm thinking, there's no way in hell. There is no way that I'm giving up my privacy for $5,500. Like, it's just not happening. Like, they're tracking everything. Now, I know that the Ford just had an issue with theirs, and you get all the updates, and I get where they're going with this. but you're giving up everything. So Andrea, thank you so much for posting this. Like I had no idea this was going on. As luck would have it, my other half worked with Cadillac and ran a Cadillac store for like 30 years. And a friend was over last night that also ran Cadillac for about 30 years. And we were talking about this. And I go, this is just insane what is going on. So I don't know if this is going to be moving forward, if this is, once again, this is just me speaking. I don't know if this is something that's going to be, we're going to do this later on. Is this where it's going? I don't know. It's just very interesting. So I love to hear some feedback on this, what everyone else is thinking. So that's number one. Number two, diving into this is we're just going to go right into good old Coffeyville. So no, that is not a new Starbucks flavor, not a Dunkin' Donuts flavor. Like I said before, as I've been holding off wanting to talk about this until I brought on other people to get a little bit of a flavor for this. And I didn't want to overstep because it was brought to me and my mind just goes, my mind was blown on this one a little bit here. So as we talked about, had Vasilis on, then Zach Billings dropped his bomb of a piece, and it just was spreading awareness on this about how all of a sudden the LinkedIn one was about how Google Analytics is now misreporting location for iOS users. Well, I wanted to break this down on kind of just the nuts and bolts of it so people really understand and get more awareness on this of what happens with Google Analytics. And everyone that knows me knows that I am a GA nerd. Like I love GA. It's great. It's fantastic. You just have to understand you've got to always, always, always be working the facts. Understand that just because I see this at this layer doesn't mean that that's for everything. And working, okay, so it's this base layer, but is that really the whole story, or do I need to go a little bit lower and go a little bit deeper? Because sometimes it's like, oh, I want I want this report because that proves my theory. Well, is that really what you want? I mean, that's what you want, but is that really the true data? Is that the true report there? So back in 2006, Wired actually did a whole report on Coffeyville, Kansas, and why all this data was going there, which is crazy. So as you looked into this a little bit more, is that Coffeyville is not far from the geographical center of the lower 48 continental United States. It's a farmhouse that has an IP address that's often used when true geolocations cannot be found, leading to numerous hijinks with over, dun, 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 600 million IP address pointing to their residence. I want to repeat that. Over 600 million IP addresses that are hijinks. Like it's just, if you go look at it, it's just this little farmhouse. They've actually had to start suing people back in 2016. They had to sue over this because they were getting so many things that are not them. They've had it's crazy. You want to go look at it. It's I feel so badly for these people because think if you all of a sudden myself had over 600 million IP addresses that were just pinging them. Okay, Brooke, so that sucks for them. What's the big deal about this? So we're going to take this a little bit further. So Google speed test, before this whole geo thing with Apple came out, and they're all of a sudden now changing servers that are not really where people are. If you did a Google speed test, now don't do Ookla, just do a Google speed test. See where it says your server is. So right now, if I do a Google speed test, it says that my server is in Chicago. Now, as much as I would love to be in Chicago, I'm not right now. In fact, if you go, what's my IP address? It says my IP address is in Lake Zurich. Now, I don't live in Lake Zurich, but that's where it says my IP address is located based on my IP address. Lake Zurich is 39 miles from Chicago. Now, Dusty Sutherland, on the other hand, I don't want to mess this up here. So Dusty actually, when he does it on his 5G, he says on his mobile, what's my IP address? It says it's in Chicago. If anyone knows, Dusty's actually in Ohio. Is that a problem? That's a big problem. Now, if he does it on his Wi-Fi, it says he's in Mansfield, Ohio. He's in Ohio, which is a little bit closer, but that's actually 2 hours away from where he lives. Problem? Big problem. So start internalizing this a little bit. What happens when we try to market to this? Problem, maybe? A little bit of problem. Yeah. So let's take this a little bit further. Unpeel this layer of the onions a little bit. You have static IPs, you have dynamic IPs, and you have VPNs. What happens now, right? So let's break this down a little bit. So static IP, static. Your IP address is not changing. You have a dynamic IP address. That means, think of like Amazon. Amazon, our business, it's dynamic. It's constantly changing. It's rotating. So that IP address, which you thought was 123.456. Whatever, it's not static. It's not staying the same. It's changing all the time. And VPN, my IP address is hidden, or it says I'm in, Switzerland. So even though I'm based in Illinois, it can say that I'm in either completely hidden, or it says I'm in Switzerland, and Switzerland never has to give you any of my information, and it's all hidden. So why does this matter? That's the big thing, is why do I care if they're hiding your information? Well, great question. I'm glad you asked. So let's break this down a little bit. So I'm going to take both my example and Dusty's example. So Dusty, he's in Ohio, but all of a sudden we're trying to market to Dusty, and his IP address says he should be in Ohio, but his IP address either says he's in Chicago or 2 hours away. Well, now we're serving ads to someone that should be where he's not. So he's either getting ads for 2 hours away or in a completely different state. Well, Brooke, I don't really care. The ad's just getting in front of someone. I'm going to call bullshit on that. 2 reasons. One, quantity over quality. Just because you're getting your ad in front of someone doesn't mean it's where you want it to go. Because let's say that Dusty does buy from you. Great. That's a sell. What happens to your service now? Because now Dusty's not going to drive 2 hours or to another state to go service his car. So you're really going to get that return back when Dusty comes up for another car, needs to either renew his lease or buy another car, or his kid needs to buy a car or whatever, because he's going to service somewhere else. And if someone's not servicing with you, not only are you missing out on all of those service dollars, they're not going to buy from you later on, because we all know if someone's not doing the service with you, they're not going to buy from you later on. Number 2, even if my IP address shows me 39 miles from Chicago, and I start trying to serve ads to Chicago now, even though let's say I'm in Wisconsin, for instance. I'm in Wisconsin, but my IP address shows it's Chicago. Now I'm starting to serve ads in Chicago. Well, now Wisconsin dealers are serving ads in Chicago. That's a problem as well. Those are completely different markets. And same thing there. Even if it's 20 miles, even if it's 30 miles, that might not seem like a lot, but start thinking, how many dealerships are they passing before they get to your store? It's a huge amount of dealerships they're passing. So start thinking about that of, okay, are these true metrics? Are we actually hitting our customers? Are we hitting the audience that we want to hit? I mean, these are so many different things of how we go about doing things, and how we're marketing, and the data that we're using. Is it true data? And going back to working the facts, and are they facts? Or are we trying to find the report that proves our point? So, like I said, when this was brought to my attention a while ago, I've been holding on this for a bit, and I wanted to kind of just go into this, and I luckily had a chance today when I ended up flying solo today, and I just wanted to bring it all and bring a little bit more awareness to this, that while Google Analytics is awesome and it's fantastic, understand that it is another tool in our tool belt to measure, hey, is this going in the right direction? Is it not going in the right direction? Apparently I've been talking too long and got a dry horse now, but knowing where things are going and measuring it and unpeeling the layers of data and understanding, is this correct? Are we going in the right direction? And then working with your business partners. And I want to emphasize partners. You guys have heard me, you all have heard me say this before. There's a difference between vendors and partners. Big difference. Are your business partners working together to say, we are going here, we're going here. Hey, we're trying to market here. And even since Zach Billings from Wikimedia posted his article, I mean, I was going working with some of my stores and saw that, hey, wait a second, you're in state X, but your X company is serving ads on completely different coast. Now, are they really doing this, or is this Google just having a tantrum? So we had to really unpeel everything, because I would have automatically just said, hey, company X is screwing you over, go and fire them. That's not how. No, you got to look at the facts and then unpeel it and say, what exactly is going here, and then interpret that into actionable items versus just knee-jerk reaction and then go yell at someone. No, that's pump the brakes, understand what the data is telling you, and then turn it into actionable items and saying, this is what's going on. This is why it's going on, and what are we going to do next? So working together and making it better for everybody. So I know that's a lot. I may have gotten a little too geeky and into the weeds here today, but I did want to, like I said, just bring a little bit more awareness today after like I said, we had Vasilios on, and then Zach did an incredible job with his article. And hopefully brought a little bit more awareness to this, everyone. And everyone, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, a great weekend. Like I said, on Monday, I will tell everyone who the guests are going to be. If you have any questions about this, please, I'm always here. Reach out to me. I'm happy to assist any way I can with this or anything else. Like I said, I'm all about, like I said, as anyone knows, is moving this auto industry forward and moving this world forward. So everyone have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a great weekend. We'll see everyone next week. And as always, find a way to serve today. Find a way to help someone. Find a way to just better someone's life today, man. Just find to be a good person today. All right, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your day and weekend. We'll see everyone next week. All right, thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.